This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Netflix. What's up, everyone? John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here, and welcome back to another episode of Rettinger's Rants. This is a show where every week I pick a topic from the consumer electronics world, I put it in my crosshairs, and I yell at it. Up this week, an article in particular that talks about new media and old media and really not understanding differences between the two, what that means for the future of communications, advertising, and overall marketing. So, if you make YouTube videos and feel like nobody understands you, this is the video to watch. This is Rettinger's Rants. Let's get ranty. So an article was published early last week, and I don't want to draw much attention to it, but it was called the Jenna Marbles Paradox. You can Google it if you want to read the article. But essentially, the gist was this author didn't understand new media. And by new media, I mean things that are online. So YouTube, social media stuff, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, the rest of that, and online marketing as a whole. Not understanding YouTube. Essentially, what he said was some of these giant YouTubers with millions of subscribers are making hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, and they're putting no money into the quality of their content. And he was essentially saying that it's a degradation of society and can't understand how anybody would ever watch these crappy videos, and YouTube as a whole was sort of the harbinger of the coming apocalypse of communications in the world, especially the US. Obviously, I took a little bit of umbrage with that. He was saying that, YouTubers are uneducated, they don't know what they're gonna do with their lives, so they just talk to cameras for a living. And I say that, as I'm staring at a camera. So first, sort of as a hobbyist way to give back to the startup community here in Southern California, I do social media consulting. So I'll go to small startups and I will help them for free sort of build a social media campaign to try and get the word out there. And there's a few reasons that I do this. First, I think it's really important to build media campaigns. I come from traditional marketing. Before I started doing all the tech stuff, I worked for an advertising agency that did advertising actually for Honda and Acura. So a huge company that really went the traditional way. So I've got experience for how regular marketing works, and regular marketing, TV, radio, print ads, and sort of the rest of that kind of stuff. And the big struggle that I run into when I go to these companies is I'm bucked up against an older generation that doesn't understand new media. There's a way that things were done, and a lot of times new media can be very threatening to this sort of older generation. Obviously, that's not universally true. Some older folks and older generations get it and see the relevance of it. But I always explain it like this. This is what I would say to the author of that article. So working for Honda and Acura, you can choose to spend upwards of $4 million to run a Super Bowl spot, not including the production of that video. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll hit 2% of your demographic that you're looking for. Now, on the other side of that, you could spend a fraction. You could spend maybe $10,000 advertising the same product on YouTube or social media. You could target exactly your demographic, almost 90% of your demographic, and for a fraction of the cost. And you give actually a relatively higher turnover rate. You could actually have a relatively higher engagement rate on the social media side, so there's real value there, and you can do it for less money. And because you can do it for less money, it's a huge threat to sort of the old way of doing things, and there's sort of new technologies coming. I think there's really been a bit of reticence to understand how that works, and to say YouTubers put no money into production and they're a bunch of sort of ignorant anuses really isn't a fair thing to say. So obviously people are watching Jenna Marbles. She might not be my cup of tea, but to millions of people she is, and people love what she does. And it doesn't matter that she's not doesn't have a full production crew, doesn't have separate lighting. If it works for her and works for the audience, then who are we to say stop it, don't do it, it's not right? So my overall message for YouTube is keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna run into problems, people not understanding. I know every day when I have to explain to people what I do for a living, they look at me like I got two heads. And there isn't an understanding of what it is quite yet. But the younger generation, the folks coming up, are going to grow up with YouTube, grow up with new media. And it's not going to be new media anymore, it's just going to be media. And that's the way marketing is done. It's done online traditionally, and there's some TV and some print, but that is obviously going away. So don't worry about those people that say that. Fight through it. You're going to have to fight through and struggle for the rest of it. People might assume you're uneducated, assume that you don't have a career path. But again, fight through that as well. It's sort of adversity you go through any job. Sort of take criticism as an opportunity to sort of re-establish yourself and sort of explain what it is you do and why it has a role in society. That's sort of the approach that I've taken. So we take a minute to thank our friends and sponsors at Netflix. You know them, you love them, you should definitely be subscribing to them. It is the premier way to watch movies and TV shows streaming directly to your television, your tablet, your phone, really most things now with internet connection. To get a free 30-day trial, go to netflix.com/buffalo. Give it a shot, keep up with all your favorite shows, watch movies you never got a chance to see in theaters. There's a great great way to just watch stuff. Again, that is netflix.com/buffalo to get a free 30 days and let them know we sent you. Hope it helped. I hope it sort of shed some light on it. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. If you've run into problems trying to explain what you do to other people and maybe just don't understand, leave your comments down below. Please give the video a thumbs up. We most definitely appreciate it. And of course, check us out at techknowbuffalo.com for the latest and greatest tech news. I am John Rettinger. I'll see you guys next video.